tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Wow. I'm gonna let you guys have it just for a second. I don't know why we always open.
Wanna dance
to
with
these.
somebody?
Wait, do we have to pay for this?
Love me.
Wow, now that you just made our viewers turn the volume down.
Whatever, it's the second to last show.
Yes, welcome AfterBuzzers to another after show for State of Affairs. It is episode 12, here and now. If you guys haven't done so already, go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Subscribe. Also, leave us some comments, questions. Check us out on iTunes and SoundCloud. We're having a little bit of difficulties here with English headphones, and I don't know why, because maybe we should have checked it beforehand.
Well, we tried.
Anyway.
Someone wanted.
Whoa, you're
Lord,
really loud.
Yes.
But we can, you know, leave your comments, questions. We love your guys' theories out there. We love what you guys have going on. We love, you know, the comments, the good, bad, the ugly. We want to know what you guys are thinking. I'm your host, Stef Z. You guys can tweet me at IAMSTEFZ. Also, you guys can tweet with the hashtag State ABTV State OA, and we will answer. We love being interactive with you guys. So let us know what you think about the show, about our show, about everything. And allow me to introduce the rest of the panel. We got the lovely
Julian Dujarric, at Julian Dujarric is my Twitter and Instagram handles.
And as always, except for last week, it is Pink English on Instagram as well as on Twitter. English Speaks. I'm glad to be back with you guys.
As always, except last week and 2 weeks before that, then the week before the other week. No, so again, so what do you guys think about this episode? I gotta say, I'm usually the one that's always pulling for the show. I mean, a lot happened. It was really emotional, but I kind of missed that beginning that kind of drew me in. I didn't feel like I was like drawn in.
I felt like because the end was so dramatic and the music and it was like war, it was almost like a movie.
Yeah, I felt
that,
like
to build up to that.
That it had to open up kind of a little normal.
Right.
But it doesn't keep with the pattern that
no, it doesn't keep with the
had.
pattern, and I feel like there could have been some ways to make us sucked in right in the beginning, because I actually did like that. It's clear that they've wanted to, you know, open up with a explosion, so to speak, you know, not literally always, but you know what I mean. So I feel like this one I was just waiting for something to happen and I was anticipating, and then I kind of fell flat when it was like the
it was
commercial.
funny. I was like thinking maybe we need to rewind it because maybe we forgot the climatic like opening
Spot.
Because I was like, this is not really how it typically opens. So I'm like, maybe we forgot to watch this part, but
No,
obviously we didn't. We're perfect.
Well, I don't know about all that. But we do open with some flashbacks from Charlie and Nick. So we're getting a little bit more backstory about their relationship.
It's hot and heavy.
It is hot and heavy, but it's more than that. It's actually deep. It's like he's trying to take her places to get her over. Like, we're kind of, I don't know, maybe I missed something, but I feel not 100% sure what the point of that was. To see if she can hang, to see if she really wanted to go after Hakam, whatever. Like,
Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan. What did you, I did it again. What did you guys think of that opening scene with Charlie and Nick? Let's start with you, Julian.
Thank you.
Ladies first.
Oh my God, chivalry is not dead. So I thought it was definitely, yeah, I think it was kind of like on a mellow note, but having seen the rest of the episode, I think it was good to not start off so dramatic. I think the gradual procession or the gradual dramatic climb of the narrative of the story was good for me this week.
And what
it
did
was a
you,
nice change for me.
Yeah, what did you think about the scene with Charlie and Nick and
the establishment?
Yeah.
I thought it was sorry. I'm still singing Whitney Houston in my head. I'm not present. No, I guess it was. I mean, it was all right to me. It was nice to see their backstory. I don't really see exactly if they're like. I agree with you. I don't know if it's all that necessary, but it was nice to see. I didn't hate it.
Right.
My thing is, I think with any show, they have to add some kind of love and sex to make people watch it. And that's basically what they do. They fight. They don't ever agree on when they should pull a target or shoot or trust me. And then they just have sex. So it's kind of...
It just ends in
for
an
me,
orgy.
it brought up... It poked at my curiosity about the timeline between this, because clearly Charlie's married or engaged, and she has a fiance that dies. I get that they're chopping up the timeline, but I wonder when this actually happened, as opposed to when she was with Aaron and when Aaron got killed, and how that all played out, because it's very clear, we see revealed in the end with this scene, that Nick for her is a true love. I think
the way it was depicted, like, I will always love you. She trusts him. And with Aaron, we see, I mean, obviously he was dead by the time we get introduced to him, but it was just kind of like, I loved him, like, yeah, that was my fiance, like, that's what you're supposed to do with your fiance. The way she talks about Nick, she never really discussed Aaron like that to us. Like, she's had opportunity at her therapist to, like, we've had scenes where we could see, like, how she really felt about Aaron, but it's kind of been like a fog, just the whole situations. Like, she's sad that happened, and opposed to her love for him.
All right, do we think that it's even deeper? Do we think that Aaron was part of a plot? Because now we know we've got Nick, who's a true love. We've got Fada, who we learn in this episode we thought was working for Charlie, but apparently Fada is actually working everyone, and he is actually
Shaka Khan.
Yes. So do we think that Charlie somehow knew, like, you know what I mean?
Knew that she was being played?
Well, no. Do we think that she knew that Aaron was going to die, but she thought it was okay because it was more of a master plan for her and Nick? Or am I crazy?
Okay, maybe. I mean, that's possible.
That's a prediction.
That's a good. Yeah. That would make sense.
Like, it's all tying together, and I don't feel yet that we know where the puzzle pieces fit. But like, we're seeing that they could fit in more than one place. I guess is what's happening.
And it really kind of go back to her relationship with her and Nick. It seems like they had a relationship in the meantime of her and Aaron, or even before that. It doesn't seem like there was ever any downtime for her to have a separation to get over. I mean, we do see it was a year had passed since Aaron, but it your prediction kind of leads up to that, because it's like, okay, well, how did you just, like, you're so okay with hooking up with this guy all the time, you're so madly in love with him, and then your fiance dies. So it's kind of like, well, was this a plan? Were you guys planning all of this out?
Right, because, correct me if I'm wrong, it was a few episodes ago, but once the fiance died, there was kind of like, I'm not ready yet towards Nick, but then that didn't really last.
Well, we only get to see like a year had passed, so we didn't get to see in between that year if they were hooking up. But within a year, she was already hooking up with Nick.
Right.
So
there was clearly Nick before Aaron. There was Aaron. There was some sort of waiting period, and then there's
unless
Nick
she
again.
was hooking up with Nick when she was with Aaron.
I don't know. I don't know if she was. Again, like, I like that we don't. Hopefully, we'll find that out, because I'm very curious.
Yeah,
I
it's
want
not,
to
the
know.
timeline isn't very clear. I would hope, actually, just based on my own wishful desires for the character, that she would
has
honor.
Morals.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of moral bankrupting that happens when you're in that line of work. I would hope that at least in this aspect of her life, she would stay kind of true to her vows. But or I guess she never got married. But did she? They were
fiance.
They were fiance. Yeah, she at least stayed true to the commitment that she made to be with him only. But I don't know. I don't like that we don't know, just because I'm kind of a control freak and I wanna fill in the blanks all at once.
Yeah.
But it would make the most sense to have that kind of a timeline.
Yeah.
I do agree with you on that. So I think that's probably the most plausible prediction.
I think we would appreciate her and Nick's relationship a little bit more, you know?
Yeah.
It would value it a little bit more.
Well, and also when you're in a foreign country, as I can imagine, with someone doing dangerous work, you get close. So I don't see it as such an odd thing that they hooked up during that time.
No, and if you think about it now, it's like if Nick really is gone, which I don't know that I 100% believe he's gone, or someone's
blast.
gonna be alive from that. Maybe I'm crazy, but now Charleston's lost 2 loves.
Right, I was
supposedly.
thinking that too.
So is she? I mean, look what she went through last time. She had to go through therapy. She had to go through this crazy, whatever Maureen and her did to remember stuff. Like, what is she gonna turn into now? Like, where she's gonna blow a gasket?
Yeah.
I feel like she's got to be a very strong character to sustain that twice.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's something. I don't know why they would do that to one character.
Well, she might go back to some of what we saw in the beginning of the season, where she was doing some really reckless personal behavior, as they put it.
Meet someone new that's maybe not the best for her, or she might be reckless in her professional life somehow. It'll be interesting to see how this manifests, how this new pain manifests in what area of her life it does. I totally think that now it has happened. Like you said, it's going to drive her crazy. And I think that it's going to draw a really big wedge between her and the president, because she wants to blame someone. She has to blame someone about this situation.
Well, we do see her, not to interrupt, but we do see her in what you're talking about, blaming. We see her blaming Kurt at the end. So I don't know, will she blow a gasket and kill Kurt? Is Kurt really working for the Craig group? Do we believe that Craig, I know we're jumping around a little bit, but so much happens simultaneously on this show, so I think it's kind of okay. But do we believe, let's move on to that. Let's move on to Kurt for a second. Do we believe, who is he working for?
He said TKG.
Well TKG,
he said,
but then he said he was working for the CIA. And
because he had a gun to his head.
Well, he's saying that Navarro sent him to go as part of the CIA to figure out what TKG is doing.
To be a double agent.
Yeah, to be a double agent. And I don't believe him. I think that he's a good liar and he plays that soft role, and he knows Charlie and they have kind of a friendship and a relationship where she can kind of believe I don't really believe he would do that. But we've seen his bad boy side. We've seen him get down.
We've seen his bad boy side.
Here's where I don't understand. This is where I'm torn. What motivation does he have to be with with TKG? I did believe him before in previous episodes. I did think he had good intentions. Now there's obviously some question to that, but then what puts me on the fence and what makes me think he may, what gives me those questions is what motivation does he have to be a part of the TKG, or to work in their best interest?
Well, if you think about it, it kind of, now that we have this reveal, the evidence almost points more so that he would be with the CIA, because he's approached by the girl, the blonde girl with I forget her name, with the Craig group, the blonde. And did he tell somebody maybe that he was approached? Did he tell Director Navarro that? So Director Navarro was like, okay, let's pretend you get fired, knowing that the Craig group will come after them. And he had to get fired as a big show in front of everybody to make it be believable.
Or
who knows?
Or he may have been teeter-tottering of wanting to go on that side, and they're like, okay, we'll fire you from the CIA, because remember the whole lie detector test and stuff. Unless we will keep you unless you play both fields. And with him, he's not really, he's disposable, really.
I just don't know. I don't know. It's not the way I get a credit to the actor. The way the actor plays this role and the way they've written this character, I guess, is a better it's a credit to the writers. It makes it so that you don't really know what his motivations are. Because on the one hand, I really do think that there maybe he's still figuring it out. Him, the character.
Maybe he just likes the Mercedes that he got.
Well, I mean, we all do, but I think that's a great motivating factor. But for me, I feel like he may be torn. The reason why we don't know where his motivations lie or where his loyalties lie is because he doesn't really know.
Well, but in his reveal too, we have Charleston figuring out, which is, we're going to jump to the end a little bit, but Charleston figures out that Fada is the one, and she figures out that in the scene with Kirk, that she figures out that Fada actually is Sheikha Kham, and that she's actually the one that's been being played for so long. So there's a lot of unanswered stuff. So next week's the season finale.
Yeah.
So they got to wrap up a lot of ends.
But you know what Kirk was trying to say? He was trying to get a hold of Charlie all day. I wish that they would have shown that. That made him seem like he was lying.
Well, yeah, the only thing we did see was that he was trying to get a hold of Maureen. So I don't know. Does that mean Maureen? We see Maureen get a text from him like, I need to talk to you right now, and she doesn't leave or answer anything. So does that mean that Kirk is kind of tied to Maureen still? Is there some? I mean, we know he liked them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing. I don't think she really liked him.
No.
But that there's a lot of crossing going on. There's a lot of loose ends. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do and how they answer all the questions, because there's a lot.
I think if he wanted to get in touch with Charlie, he would have.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to go through Maureen to get in touch with Charlie. I mean, this is something that was said on behalf of, Charlie said this. This, you had the access, you had the leverage, it's something that you could have easily done, and that's why I don't believe you at all. But at the same time, at the same time, I just don't get what's the end game? Why be a part of this TKG? I don't know.
I honestly
it's not really revealed to me.
I honestly thought at the end he was gonna be Shaka Khan.
Oh, you thought
that actually went through my mind too for a minute. I did. I was
all
like,
this time he played us, but
I still don't get why they're flashing back to the scene of one of the terrorists, the Rizar not kids, but one of the one that got away, his hospital scene, saying he's not human. Because Fada's clearly human.
But because they're saying that he's invisible all this time. It's been a fake person that everyone has been trying to catch. Everyone, all these years, this #1 person that's been the #1 target for over 10 years has been Fada, and Fada has been playing everyone along the way, building up this whole big guy. You guys need to catch him. I can show you.
But why would he tell the terrorists working for him that? How does this kid have more intel than the CIA or the Craig group?
No, I think he was just saying it figuratively. I don't think he was saying it literally.
And I think and he does, I don't know that he has intel. I think he was just recanting the saying that all of the other kids were saying. That's when she figured out, the encrypted message was that, Fada is the main guy, but I don't think he had the kid necessarily had more intel, more or less intel than anybody else.
Yeah. I think he was just he's like a mysterious man.
Right.
Charlie's Angels. Charlie.
Yeah. It's all a web of craziness.
If Fada is the main guy, then Fada killing Aaron, is that something? Who's working with Fada in order to maybe kill Aaron, knowing that Aaron's the president's son, to get the president out of the presidency? I feel like the plot thickens so much if Fada's the guy. Because he's been on the boat with Charleston and Nick. He's killed Aaron. Fada killed Aaron. And that shook up the whole presidency. I feel like there's got to be somebody else on the inside that knew Fada was the guy, or was giving Fada this information.
Maybe it's Kirk.
I don't know. Maybe
he's still not out of the ballpark.
Yeah, he's not. We still don't know.
No. Yeah. All right. So one thing also that stood out for me from this episode, and I don't know why it bugged me, but I'm gonna let you guys get your opinions on this. So let's plan this mission to kill the top 2 terrorists, and we want to. It's they wanted to think of something that would make it not be able to happen. Weather.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Weather? A typhoon?
But every week.
A typhoon!
I know.
Come on, with a typhoon. There couldn't have been another, information leak. They moved into the tunnels. There wasn't another reason that happened except a typhoon. and they couldn't then fly in the typhoon. I don't know. It seemed a little bit far-fetched for me.
I would have had this this photo that was leaked to the press leak a little earlier and have that compromise the mission. That seems like more of an interesting thing to me than rain.
Yeah, the typhoon compromising the mission made me feel a little bit uneasy.
And that's why Dawkins was kind of like, I can handle this.
Right.
I've been out here in a little rain before. And Charlie, it just seemed like overly dramatic over something that it wasn't like Hurricane Katrina. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it was like, we didn't even really get a chance to see, but his hair was blowing in the wind. Like, my hair blows in the wind. Beyonce's
hair. It was pouring. It was pouring rain, and he was saying like that at this point it was too tough, and they had to choose.
But if you're dropping a bomb, what is the rain gonna have to do?
They were talking about the rain as far as flying in
to get
and dropping someone down in order to take Nick out. That's what I think that they were talking about. Okay, so I feel like we've while we were watching in the screening room, we saw that POTUS is having kind of a back and forth. Some points she shows that she's a really strong character. Sometimes she's kind of comes off as a weak, emotional character.
Puny POTUS.
Yeah. Man, I don't know about that. But what did you guys think about her? If we think about last week's episode where she decides to walk away from this interview, that's probably going to buy her time, and probably, what was his name? Jules Lambert wanted to interview her, and that interview would probably make her a little bit uncomfortable, maybe might not make her look like the best president. She kind of postpones that interview to take on this mission, and now she thinks this mission might have to be aborted because of weather. So how do we think POTUS is feeling, and what do you guys think of her actions and to call for the airstrike and to postpone the mission and then call for the airstrike? Like, do you think that shows that she's weak or that she's strong?
Well, I think it shows that she wants this guy to die. I think it shows that she wants to avenge her son's death. I think it shows that she wants to show strength. I think it shows also that she is relentless and unwavering in her focus. Everything is kind of falling to the periphery. Her main MO is to get this guy and to get him once and for all. She even says to Charlie, I made the mistake of letting him go once. I'm not going to make that mistake again. So I think it's very personal for her, and it's very much a show of strength for her, and it doesn't really read to me as anything other than that.
Right. What about
to me, I don't know. I feel like with her, and she's very menopausal, I think, with her. And she's in that age bracket. So I just feel like as a woman, not to say a woman can't run for president, but I just feel like she's too back and forth, and her emotions play a lot on this situation. Like, your son is gone. I understand you want to seek revenge or get the people that killed him, but you also have to play every movement wisely. None of this is going to bring your son back. So now it's all about doing the best, like killing these people that killed your son in the best, most efficient way. And I think she gets in that mode, and then she pulls back and gets in that mode and pulls back too many times.
I think maybe it's because we have more access to her than we would any of the previous presidents that we have in real life. And so that's why our perception of her is we see her flaws, and we see, where she kind of is, where her shortcomings are as a president. But I don't know. I would just imagine that someone who is the president of the United States would have to have a little bit more of a backbone, would have to be just a little more, just have a little more gravitas. I don't know. Again, it could be our perspective. We're seeing a lot more of her, but I don't think she's a good president.
At all.
I don't know. She doesn't strike me as a leader. She strikes me as a follower.
You know what? You actually bring up a very interesting point that I don't believe we've talked about all season with the president, in that, what we're seeing behind all the closed doors. Like, who knows if Obama is weighing the pros and cons and being emotionally attached to this or that. But at the time where she comes, and whenever she has addressed the nation, so to speak, she does seem together and strong. So that's a very valid point that you're bringing up. And really, who knows? Who gets to see that behind doors?
But then at the end of the day, we're watching a show. Like, we can't really respect you and your decisions that you're making as a president. And we're seeing all these real life situations that are actually current day to our life right now. It's actually a little bit of reality. Like, then we really don't respect you, and we would hate to live in that world. I would hate for her to be our president right now.
Well, maybe it just shows. I mean, it just goes to show that even the president of the United States is human.
Is a real person.
Yeah, a real person. And I do. I wonder if that's, something that they're trying to tap. I wonder if that's on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if that's on purpose that they're trying to.
I would hate to be that character then, because I'd be like, man, everyone hates
me. Well, but I don't know that people hate her. Like, I don't hate her, and I can appreciate that she's confused, and I can appreciate that all these decisions weigh on her, and I can appreciate that all these decisions weigh on her because people might take it one way or another because her son was killed in the line of duty. Like, I can appreciate all the things going on. I feel like we're trained to look at the president as this person of power and this person of security and this person that, we trust our livelihood with. So we want it to be a certain way. But again, we don't see what's behind closed doors.
Like, we don't know if Michelle's cheating or, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
I mean, no, just like her husband was cheating on her. You never know.
I think Michelle stands by her man.
You're right. I do.
For the record.
I love you, Michelle.
Yes. But I do. I actually, we've never really talked about it that way before. And I kind of really like that conversation. I like that we're seeing that vulnerability. And when push comes to shove, like tonight, she clearly has this relationship with Charleston. She clearly tells Charleston, like, this is what I'm not going to stand down. Now the question is, are you going to stand with me? So when push comes to shove, she does make those hard decisions. It's sometimes a little dramatic to get there, but she does make them. So, all right. So moving on from POTUS, how do we feel about, what's happening? For some reason, Maureen's just sticking out to me this episode. So there's something about her. I don't know. Do you guys feel that there's anything with Maureen going on? Like, because I feel like 4, 5, 6 episodes ago, a few of us on the panel were like, Maureen's, she's dirty. She's working for the other side. Have you guys let go of that, or what do you think about Maureen?
I have too.
Yeah,
I think she's actually a truly genuine friend to Charlie, and she knows even beyond their job, the CIA. She knows the full relationship between Nick and Charlie. And so as a friend, she has to be supportive to her because it's like, girl, your man's about to die, but this is our job. And we've been all like tirelessly waiting up to kill these people. And your man is with him. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying to be your friend. It's like, she's juggling. So
I agree. It's hard to kind of reconcile your love for your friend and your love for this relationship that you have with this person with your duty, with your job. I mean, this is something when they're at odds, when they're the complete opposite of each other, when you going one way means abandoning another way, that must be hard. That must be really hard for someone who very clearly loves Charlie and wants the best for Charlie. And ultimately, I think she has to really weigh what's more important to her loyalty for Charlie, or her I guess she doesn't want Charlie to be hurt, as a good friend wouldn't want
and you want to be
hurt.
supportive.
You want to be supportive, but at the same time, you're right. This is her job, and ultimately the mission is what comes first.
And who's gonna listen to Maureen if Maureen says no, don't do it? You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, Maureen really doesn't have a pull.
Right. Okay. So let's move on to the fact that the Craig group somehow found, this information. Like, is Kurt, like, how did Sid come back and tell Charleston?
Where does Sid fall in all that?
Right. I feel like Charleston apparently, like, I feel like there's a disconnect somewhere. Because Charleston knew that Sid was there in the Craig group. Like, is Sid not being honest that he's part of the Craig group? Because Sid was there, and Nick killed the guy that Sid was with. So they knew about this mission. They were following the mission. Clearly, Sid came back, said the other guy got killed in the field. Who's Sid reporting to? Is he reporting to Victor? Is he part of the Craig group? Because then Charleston says that she not hired, but told Sid to follow Kirk because she knew Kirk knew that people were there, and that's why they all fled into the tunnels.
Maybe Sid's an ally. Maybe he's playing both sides, like Kirk is saying he's supposed to be doing. Maybe Sid is doing that. I
think Sid is a good guy. I think he's definitely has the United States' best interests at heart. I would really like to understand how he ties into all of it with regards to TKG, and how he knew that this was even happening, right? They were following this mission very closely, but where is it in that? Like, how did he know that? What's this guy from TKG? Oh my God, we just mentioned his name.
Sid.
No, the other guy.
Kurt.
How did he know that Kurt was dirty, or that there was a situation where he might be like his integrity might be questioned?
Yeah, there's something else. I mean, and again, next week
that's just one, because there are a couple of things.
Well, the other thing to me too is clearly Charleston's lying against Still and withholding information, because she didn't tell POTUS that the Craig group is out there. She didn't tell POTUS that someone was, like, they know that the one Marine was killed, but she didn't tell them that when she saw them fleeing to the tunnels, she wasn't like, this is why it's happening, but she knew. She knew why that was happening.
Yeah.
But and everyone in the CIA office knew.
Right, but she knew more that someone had to be. She knew that the Craig group was then involved, and someone there then told them, who probably told Fada.
She knew that there was someone like there was a reason why they went underground, and that reason was because they were informed, and she knew that information had to have come from someone within their camp, and so that's where she goes and confronts Kurt. But yeah, it's so weird.
There's a lot of loose ends too, because then we have Fada giving, his walkie-talkie to Nick to tell him where the coordinates are. So why is he doing that?
What's that about? Like, if Fada is the bad guy who wants to kill all the values of the Western world and bring terrorism to the world, like, why help? I don't understand that.
Yeah, Fada's...
So he's like committing suicide.
In a sense.
Yeah, in a sense, but without purpose. Usually there's a grander purpose. Like, this seems counterproductive.
Like,
at
after
least
all this time.
Well, yeah, and especially since we know that Fada really is a bad guy. This doesn't really help his cause.
Well, we don't know that. That's what Kirk tells us.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we
don't know. We don't know if Kirk is just lying to convince...
So do we believe Kurt is the question?
That's why Kurt may be Shaka Khan.
I don't think Kurt is although I don't know, because if you think about previous episodes again, you have the episode where the picture came from the phone. The phone came from the 7th floor. So...
And Kurt knew about the picture.
Right. So is Kurt the one that is trying to... I mean, there's a reason why he's still around. Yeah. Like, there's a reason. If if he's the guy, I'm gonna be pissed.
We thought Sid, Sid could have just killed him instead of bringing him for Charlie to interrogate him. Like, he could have.
Well, I'm sure Sid clearly told him that.
But so many times we thought Sid, Kurt is gone. He's dead. Yeah. He's dead. He's dead. When he was driving in that car and pulled over to the side to check that they were following him. Every time we see Kurt, we always think he's about to die.
Well, and Sid clearly doesn't know the full story, or he's trying to figure something out too. Because if it turns out that Kurt is a bad guy, I don't know. Sid doesn't strike me as the kind of person that would wait.
Exactly.
For Charlie to come in and interrogate the dude. Like, Sid looks like a badass motherfucker, Like,
right, but I feel like Charleston talked to Sid and was like, Sid, that photo got leaked. The only way it could have gotten leaked was XYZ. Kurt is the only one that has access. That's not on my team. That wasn't here. That could have done it. Go find Kurt.
And imagine,
right? But he doesn't know the full. It's clear that he doesn't know the full extent. I think. Yeah, that's probably what happened. How else would he know?
And if he doesn't know, he's not going to kill someone that possibly could be Shaka Khan or whatever. Because then how are we going to ever know if we caught him or not? You know what I mean? You're just going to be going years and years and years trying to find someone that's already dead.
Yeah, and he obviously, I mean, they still think that Shaka Khan is a person. So yeah, that according to that psychology, according to that logic, that would make sense.
Who's the guy that they have a picture of then? Who's that guy? Just some random?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Fada planted that. That was part of his scheme.
Yeah.
He was like, this is what he looks like. He made this person a real person. And we're trying to say he's not. We come to find out, Charlie says, oh my gosh, he's not a person. But remember, she does kind of say, I've been looking at this guy in the face this whole time. Kirk is sitting there too. So it may be Kirk. It may be Fada. You never know.
I don't know.
I don't think it's Kurt.
You don't think so?
I think when she said she's looking at this guy the whole time,
She was talking about Fada. She was talking about Fada.
Well, we'll see next week.
We will see. And Fada, though, like, you got to think about it. Why is he cutting his own stomach open?
That's
with
what I feel like.
Why is he trying so hard to get Nick to trust him, to get Charleston to trust him, if at the end of the day
lying.
he knows that they're on a mission to kill him?
That's what I'm saying. There has to be a real physical person. And why not have an American that's sitting in the office of these people that are trying to plant to try to find this guy? And he still has intelligence within the office. He's playing both fields. He has TKG on his side. He has the CIA, if it's really true that Navarro sent him there, on his side. He knows where Charlie's at. He knows where Nick's at. He's the only person that's playing both sides that knows everything, that knows where everyone is, that knows all the correspondence. He knows what they're all looking for. He knows about the picture. He knows a lot.
And he can inflict the most damage
and
with that knowledge.
Yeah, but with all that, it's not clear to me what his goal is.
Yeah, that's what's confusing me.
But you know what? Their goal really is to infiltrate the United States with that symbol and all that stuff.
But they did it. They caught the people. What you're saying is 100% valid, and I love it. But what I'm trying to say is, with all that, what's left for me is the why. They've caught all those people. He's killed Aaron, and like, what else is he trying to do that now he's sitting there knowing that Nick's mission is to kill Shakan, whatever. I know I should get it right. I'm sorry, viewers. I keep going to the song every single time. But they know. I know I can't. But they know. Like, what is he trying? Why? If he's hiding that he's this leader, why? Why didn't he just leave? Why didn't he just take Nick and kill him? Like, why is he going through this?
Maybe he wants to be famous for doing this. Maybe he wants to be
I don't
like
know.
Yeah,
I have no idea. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I can't wait till next week.
Remember in the beginning of the season, I hope this is the right show or not Scandal. The guy, remember they had some guy who wanted to be known as like killing someone and wanted to be like famous for doing the killing, or I'm sorry. Never mind.
Anyway.
I can't ask you for sure. I gotta ask. I'll text you.
No, if you said it to me, I'd remember. I just might not bring
was
it up.
it this show? But I'm being for real. It was like some guy who was going around killing or doing something, and then come to find out he just wanted to be famous as the killer of this person.
I don't think so.
Oh.
No. But anyway, we do see Fada throughout. But yeah, I want to know what Fada's master plan is, because you think about stuff like, current day, and you think about Osama bin Laden and people that this, kind of coincides with some of the stories we have, actual stories in our history. It's like, I don't think that Saddam Hussein, whatever, not Saddam Hussein, Osama bin Laden would ever be like, okay, so I'm gonna set this thing up so then I can make you think that I'm somebody else, but I'm gonna take you with me, so let me cut myself so then I can tell you to tell them the coordinates, because I know they're gonna bomb us so that I can die. Like, because then why does he want Nick to be the hero?
But they have a bigger power to answer to, and I think he didn't want Nick to be a hero because he knew Nick was going to be by his side when he got killed too.
I don't know.
Or maybe Charlie is just confused. Maybe this whole revelation is not the right revelation. Maybe she's wrong.
But there has to be some kind of truth to it.
I can't wait till next Monday. Yeah. All right, well, we're about at that time where we're going to start wrapping up. Let's take some last predictions. What do you got, English? What do you think's going to happen next week?
I totally think we're going to find out Kirk is Shaka Khan.
All right, that's a bold one.
Bold.
It's bold, but I hope I'm right. And if I'm right, what do I get?
High fives.
Okay.
High fives and hugs.
Okay.
And you can pick the opening song next week, because our opening songs are very obscure every week, so you get to pick if you're right.
Yeah, it's our season. We won't know, though.
Well, we'll watch. Yes, we will.
We'll have
But
to
no,
watch it
next
first.
week is our season finale.
So-
Oh yeah, and then when we I get it.
Okay.
We're back on track. I hope the TKG's motives are revealed, and we understand more about how all of that network is connected and who's involved in that network, and get a clearer understanding of how the pawns are or where the pawns are placed.
You're asking for that, or you're predicting?
I'm predicting that because it's the season finale, and I have a lot of questions, and I think that's what you do on a season finale.
My prediction is gonna be that Nick is alive.
You've been saying that.
Maybe he's
Hannah
not.
would probably agree with
Yeah.
that.
I know, Hannah. Shout out
that's
for you.
wishful
We miss
yeah.
Hannah tonight. She's not feeling
She's here
well
in
tonight.
spirit.
She's here in spirit. I'm sure she's drooling because we saw Nick shirtless twice.
In his underwear.
Yeah, so we got to give a shout out to Hannah for that. But I feel like Nick being alive, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
That was a big black hole.
It was a big black hole, but he was close to the tunnel.
But you know what's funny is in the beginning of the episode, they kept saying, we need proof of death. We need proof of death. They
Right.
still didn't really get proof. I mean, it's a big black hole, but they don't know.
That's kind of, I mean, that seems like it would be tough to survive.
But also, too, back to the weather
big black
thing.
hole.
Back to the weather thing. When the end scene where there's the helicopter flying over that shows us the big black hole, where was the rain?
Right.
Oh,
it was,
yeah.
It was sunshine. And
I know.
and
They
no-
could have let someone down to take Nick out.
in a
Well,
heartbeat.
there
Look,
was some smoke, you know?
It
there was a
it
lot
was
of fire.
It was foggy.
Yeah, but I mean, it was...
It was not the typhoon
little-
that we saw when he was
That's
talking
true.
to him
Because
on
you
the
know
boat.
why? Because look, Nick was like looking up like he saw God. He was just like, ah. It was so sunny and there was a few clouds, but they could have easily just reached him out of there. Mm-hmm. So if Charlie sees this episode, she's going to be mad.
They shot that in the valley.
Right.
Totally.
On a clear day in Glendale.
All right, cool. Well, we're so excited for next week. That's my
Yeah.
prediction, that next week we're going to know a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's going to make us excited or we're going to be pissed about what happened, but we'll be
What
here
the
next week
cliffhanger.
talking about it. Until then, where can the people find you, English?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Pink English, as well as on Twitter, English Speaks.
You guys can find me at Julian Dujarric on Instagram and Twitter.
And you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Stef Z. Check out my website, iamstefz.com, too. You can see all my other shows. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.